Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to AskGolfNut channel and welcome to Wilson DYNAPOWER Max irons. Every single dimension on this iron compared to that of the normal DYNAPOWER is maxed out. All the technology is exactly the same, just everything is bigger, center of gravity is lower to try and get the golf ball launching higher. We have more loft on this one compared to that of the standard DYNAPOWER, and all the dimensions are massive. If you look at the top line on this thing, it is chunky. If you look at the sole thickness on this one is possibly the same size as some tectonic plates, and blade lengths are big. Down by the golf ball, I think with offset wise I could possibly fit another golf club in between the part where the shaft and the leading edge goes. It is that big. It is a big old chunk down there when it comes to offset. Not a great fan of offset generally speaking, but a certain amount of people do like it, and of course if you do, this is your kid on that one. It is big. Technology wise in this golf club there is a lot of technology, no different to that of the standard normal DYNAPOWER, and I will say it again when it comes to Wilson. With the amount of money that things are costing at the moment, things are getting more and more expensive, mainly because of technology, mainly because of materials, mainly because of labor and stuff like that. Well, if the amount of technology in an iron was indicative of how much it costs, I honestly don't know how Wilson are making money on these things, because there is so much tech and these are obviously not the most expensive golf clubs in the world. Right, let's go give this one a hit, see what difference it is, compare that to the standard normal DYNAPOWER. Not a bad hit to start, not quite middle, slightly low on the face, but give me circle. Club head speed 88 miles an hour, face is 0 to a path which is 1 degree across. I mean, that's not bad, that's why it's 2.5 yards left. 7 mil low on the face. I could feel that it wasn't the best vertical strike, at least. And so at 88 miles an hour, Wilson are potentially going to be looking at this golf club is going to be for people that are going to be swinging much slower than that. So I will be doing my slow, medium and fast swing speed test in my 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour to see how well this golf club works when you start dialing speed back. But 7 mil low, done quite well, 32 yards in the air. It was stopping at 47 degrees. As you saw on the green, worked pretty good. But feels really quite good considering it's a super game improvement iron with massive dimensions. Club path slightly from the inside and face is slightly close to that. Give it its nice little baby draw flight. Strike's pretty good though, 0 mil hill, 2 mil low. I cannot complain on that one. Feels really quite good from right out of the screws. 37 yards in the air and 49 degrees descent angle. That is absolutely stopping on any green. Feel wise, it's actually quite good. It is actually, I was expecting this one to feel horrid and not very nice because the dimensions on this golf club are massive, and it does give you actually quite a pleasant feeling. It's not like, there's some golf clubs that really sound loud and really sound quite sharp and abrupt. This is not bad for a super game improvement iron, of which it is. Dimensions, it definitely is a super game improvement iron. It sounds pretty good, feels pretty good, launches the golf ball really well, gets the golf ball going. 177 yards is a good number. I mean, that's really, really good. Like, really good. Just feels properly solid. Club head speed just over 90 miles an hour. Club path 1.5 from the inside. Baby closed. I mean, it's a tiny little draw dynamics, but 2 mil hill, 0 mil low. Another great strike, and it just feels really quite good. Feels properly punchy and solid. But it's got 179 yards of carry, which is a lot, and 39 yards in the air, 50 degrees descent angle. Basically, it just works really quite well. I am really interested to do the 3 different swing speeds to see how well this works when you start taking some speed away, because it has got 2 degrees more loft than that of the standard DYNAPOWER, and that works pretty well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when you start taking some speed off. I will do the normal heat map testing where I whack it all over the face and see how forgiving it is, because again, it is the super game improvement idea, so it should hopefully be forgiving from a lot of the face. Let's go give it another go. I do actually quite like hitting this. It just works. Now that's left because of me, but I mean, that is still really quite good. And I really need to pull the tee back Clubhead speeds 91.3. We have a path of 0, face is slightly closed. Yeah, that's that little tuggy left one that I've just done. I mean, it's not bad. It's only 8.6 yards off of line, but again, we haven't got much room at the end of that green. But 2 mil hill, 2 mil low, really good strike again. I mean, it's working very fast, 40 yards in the air and 50 degrees descent angle. That just works so, so well. Why are not more people playing Wilson irons? Now these obviously you can get custom fit, you have got the ability to get them in the specifications you require. They do have certain shaft options. Are they as varied, shall we say, as the big boys when it comes to the custom fit? Probably not, no, but they still do have quite a lot of options that you're going to be able to get fit into when it comes to the shaft. Where you can get fitted and all that lot, that's a different story. And again, comment below if that's the reason why you think Wilson aren't in the hands of many, many more golfers. Give it one last hit before I whack it all over the face and see how that heat map gets on. Oh, I tried to get that launch in, but I left the face slightly open. Try to see how high I could get that golf ball, but I mean, it's done very, very well. Still on the putting service. Club speed 93.6 miles an hour. Darn the speed up a little bit to try and get that thing launching. Club path and face to path are pretty okay, just face was slightly open. 6 mil low, 2 mil toe, so okay strike, can't complain, but slightly low in the face. 42 yards in the air and 52 degrees angle. That is working extremely, extremely well. Right, let's go give this hit all over the face, not just missing the middle by a small amount. Let's go see how forgiving this super game improvement iron is. Let's also get a heat map going so we can visually see it, and also test this at 3 different swing speeds, 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour, to see how the max version gets on. To the fun part where we go see how the new DYNAPOWER Max iron gets on when you hit it 3 different swing speeds, and also the forgiveness testing where we get a great little heat map for understanding how good this iron is at keeping ball speed up across the face. On the screen you can see we've got the 3 different swing speeds, got the clubhead data at the bottom and the ball data on top. We'll look at the ball data first. If you look at the red, that is the 70 miles an hour, the yellow is the 80 miles an hour, and the blue is the 90 mile an hour. We'll go straight to the red first. The red, 137 yards of carry, 22 yards in the air peak height, and 40.2 when it comes to descent angle. Guys, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that that number is a lovely number. 40 degrees is the absolute lowest I want to see a 7-iron going into a green for some stopping power. There's no point in hitting your shot, seeing it skip out the back, because its descent angle isn't steep enough and it has no control. So there's going to be many occasions on the golf course where it'll be forced carry, whether it be through water or rough or a bunker in front of the green. So you're going to need to have a certain amount of stop when you hit the putting surface. And 40 degrees will give you that. Anything over 40 degrees is absolutely great. 45 is lovely, but anything in the 30s, generally speaking, yeah, I'd be looking into some form of direct line replacement or a hybrid or a very high lofted fairway would try and get a little bit more height. But it's on the button of okay. If you go to the yellow, the 80 miles an hour carry now goes up to 160 yards. Peak height is 30 yards in the air and descent angle is 45 degrees, 44.9 to be exact. But it's basically the magic number. 45 degrees is the number I want to see a golf ball go in at, because it's the magic number for any golf ball will stop at 45 degrees. Will it have to be US Open greens or a runway from an airport for it not to stop if it's at 45 degrees? And so for 45 degrees with a 7-iron, yes, you can have a conversation about 6 and possibly the 5 as well. Obviously the max does not come in a 4, it only goes into a 5. And so even at the 80 miles an hour, there's a possibility that you could have enough descent angle, enough control to have the full set. If you go full on 90 miles an hour, carry goes 177 yards, peak height is 39 yards in the air, and descent angle is 50. Well, that's absolutely fine. You can have the whole entire set and have no worries whatsoever at 50 degrees descent angle for a 7-iron, even when you go all the way to the 5. Now, the whole idea of this golf club basically is for either the very, very slow swing speed golfer that needs the help getting the golf ball in the air, because it clearly does with a 40-degree descent angle at 137 yards for the 70 mile an hour swing. Or you could have an individual that has a faster swing speed but doesn't have the best control of strike and needs the help when it comes to forgiveness, etc. It could be for both type of golfers. We'll have a look at that one in a sec. Club head data, if you look at that one, you've got 70.7, 80.5 and 90.8, so within 0.3 of a mile an hour, 0.3 of a mile an hour. There's your 10 mile an hour per jump. Efficiency is 138, 138, 137. Attack angles within 1.3 degrees. Club path slightly more from the inside on the slower swing speed, but face to path, more importantly, the face to path is within 0.2 of a degree on all of the data sets. If you look at the loft, 26.4, 26.4 and 26.5. So even though there's three different mile an hour, I think it's 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour, so 20 mile an hour between them, there's only 0.1 of a degree of loft. And of course you've got my face impact on there as well. If you learn better from a visual representation of the data, there is the ball and club compare, so you can see just exactly what we've just been talking about in a visual form rather than tabular data. Now, how does this new DYNAPOWER Max get on when you don't hit the middle? I've hit it all over the face to see how much ball speed is retained when you don't hit the middle to get a really good heat map going. If you've seen my previous video of the standard DYNAPOWER irons, it has a very, very unique heat map, very much so stretched laterally across the face. Not brilliant on low shots, but amazingly good off heel and toe. Let's go see how the new one gets on. As you can see, it's a carbon copy of its smaller brother. It's amazing, if not slightly better off of the heel and just as good off the toe, give or take, but it's exactly the same on low strikes. It's not amazing off of low strikes. You do lose a little bit of ball speed, which is going to be distance, from low on the face, but it is one of the best, if not the best, from a lateral miss. So if you're a golfer who hits slightly toey, slightly heely, or quite considerably toey, and sometimes quite considerably heely, but doesn't really deviate low on the face, the Wilson DYNAPOWER series is just really difficult to beat. If you want to see how that looks like on a golf club, you can see there, that's overlaid on the actual golf club. If you want to know what that red line is on the right hand side, that is a hosel interaction line, we'll call it. So effectively, if you're going to move anything between sort of 21, 22 millimeters away from the middle, you are going to start interacting with the curvature of the hosel. And then you haven't got to worry at all about the fact that how efficient the face is when the golf ball starts going off at a weird and wonderful angle. But you can see straight away that you have to hit off of the scoring lines to drop into the yellow, and it doesn't even go into the red. It gets to a point of where the only way you'd hit red on this one off the toe is if you toe shanked it, and that's a completely different miss. So to illustrate how this golf club works against all of the other irons that I've got on the database of 50 or so plus irons on there now, where we measure all the differences between the toe, heel, low, forgiveness, etc. and all the advanced data as well, the face speed, the distance potential, face spin rate and also launch factor. I've got the radar chart on the screen for you can see the difference between the average of all the golf clubs which I've tested, and again there's about 50 or more on the list now, and how this new Wilson DYNAPOWER Max iron gets on when you compare it against the average. And you can see, let's go start at the top first, the toe forgiveness. The red is the DYNAPOWER Max and the blue is the average. You can see just how much better it is off of forgiveness from the toe strikes. Heel strikes, wowzers. It is amazing. It is the best, possibly, I think it is the best I've ever tested of a golf club which is forgiving off the heel. Now there's problems in itself, obviously being off the heel from a miss because of the fact that there's a hosel there, but if you are a heel striker, I don't think there's anything better than this new DYNAPOWER Max iron. When you look low, you can see again, it's not brilliant off of low strikes. It is less than the average when it comes to forgiveness from low strikes. So it will lose more distance from low strikes than the average golf club. But on average, you can see the forgiveness is better than the average on there, and quite considerably. If it wasn't just for that low percentage drop, it would be a contender for one of the best irons ever. Face speed, that is basically just a measure of how fast the face is, and all of these numbers are effectively neutralized, so every single thing, no different to distance potential, face spin rate and launch factor, what we're going to come to next, is when you do everything like for like. So if you were to bend everything at a certain loft, say 30 degrees, and then measure from a loft of 30, how good a face is compared to the rest. Distance potential, that is based on how much face speed you have, how much spin rate you get, and how much launch factor you have. It's basically just an understanding of potentially how long an iron is compared to others. Face spin rate, that is a measure of how much spin a golf club imparts on the golf ball. And of course, loft normally is a big factor in how much spin is put on the golf ball, but this is all normalized, so everything again is averaged out to say a 30 degree, and then how much spin a golf club imparts. Now the interesting thing thing on this more than anything else is what you'll find is launch factor, the next one. It is better than the average golf club in getting the golf ball launching. Again, it's all loft for loft adjusted, so every single thing, say it's 30 degrees, and how one golf club will launch the golf ball compared to other golf clubs. So if you're a golfer that has a slow swing speed, you need as much launch and as much speed as you possibly can do. And if you are a hyper fast golfer with a really very, very fast swing, you don't necessarily need a very high launching iron. You definitely don't need a very, very, very high spinning iron, because if not, you could get those ballooning flights. So different golfers will absolutely require different things. That's the reason why we have all of the information on there for all golfers to see. But you can see the launch factor on there is better than the average, the spin rate is better than the average, and the face speed is better than the average. So absolutely, as we saw from the 70 mile an hour data right at the very start, it's really very, very good for the slow swinging golfer. It is rare that I see a 70 mile an hour swing get anywhere close to 40 degrees. And the fact that it just pipped it by, I think it was 0.2 of a degree, it's doing exceptionally well. So if you want to see how the Wilson DYNAPOWER Max gets on against the standard DYNAPOWER, the great thing about the radar chart is you can compare it against the average, but also any of the other 50 or so irons on the list. And so let's go have a look at the forgiveness differences between the two. If you have a look at the blue, now the blue, rather than being the average, is now the DYNAPOWER, the standard DYNAPOWER. It just pips the Max on toe forgiveness, but they are both very much so better than the average. The Max then pulls out a little lead with a slightly better heel performance, and it is the best, I think, that I've ever tested. And of course, when you go by low, they are both slightly under the average, but they are very, very close in the fact that they still lose a very similar amount, with just the win going to the Max in overall forgiveness. So as a conclusion to the Wilson DYNAPOWER Max, let's go by looks first. It is a big golf club. It is rather large. It has got some seriously thick top lines. It's got some seriously thick soles and the size of some countries. It has got a fair amount of offset when you go down by the golf ball, and if you're someone who does not like offset, then you're definitely not going to like these irons. But if you're someone who likes a little bit of real estate, likes a little bit of confidence-inspiring looks when you get down by the golf ball, then absolutely both of these two irons, with the standard and also the Max being the biggest, is definitely going to be in your liking. When it comes to feel, the feel is it's quite loud. It is quite loud. It is louder than the standard DYNAPOWER. It's bigger and it is hollow bodied and it is super game improvement. It isn't as loud and as firecracky as some. There are some super game improvement irons out that sound effectively like hybrids. Very, very explosive in the impact noise, and it is nothing like that. It doesn't feel like a hybrid. It does feel like an iron. If you go by the performance though, the performance of this iron is incredibly good, especially down the likes of the 70 and 80 mile an hour swing speed golfer. If you are a golfer that is starting to slow down as the age goes on, or you don't just swing very fast at all, then the new Wilson DYNAPOWER Max is really very, very good. One of the best for slow swing speed golfers. And for forgiveness, if you are someone who moves around the face a little bit from heel to toe, laterally across the face, the X-axis across the face, then absolutely, this golf club is amazing. I don't think there's another golf club on the list that is as good out of the heel and is pretty darn good from the toe as well. However, if you are someone who gravitates a little bit low on your strike, you thin it on the odd occasion, shall we say, or that's your pattern, then this golf club does lose a little bit more than the average from low strike. So it's really one of these things that I would say, if you are someone who hits slightly low on the face or thin, there are other golf clubs on the database that you can clearly see that will be much better for those mishits. But if you are a toe and heel striker, you are going to struggle to find literally anything better. Hope you liked the video. If you did, go and give it a good old thumbs up, hit that like button, YouTube likes, so do I. Down there also is a subscribe button. It's free. It's the best button a lot because it's great for the channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. And next to that one is a bell icon, there's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will notify you next time I upload another video. Hope you're well. We'll see you again soon.